Filmz TV præsenteres i samarbejde med Solid.
Godzilla, king of the monsters, alive, surging up from the depths of the sea on a tidal wave of terror to wreak vengeance on mankind.
Godzilla, king of the monsters, it's alive.
A gigantic beast,
Stalking the earth, crushing all before it.
in a cyclonic cavalcade of electrifying horror.
Det er 60 år siden, at det japanske megamonster Godzilla for første gang terroriserede biografgængere med sit skingrende skrål og sin kraftige allergi over for menneskehedens infrastruktur. Men den allerførste Godzilla-film var bestemt ikke nogen hjernedød B-film. Tværtimod kan den passende beskrives som gruppeterapi, maskeret som monsterfilm, for det destruktive tårnhøje reptil gav japanerne mulighed for at konfrontere og bearbejde de traumer, som blev skabt af atomsprængningerne i Hiroshima og Nagasaki. Siden da er der udkommet omtrent 30 film om den krigeriske kolos, men de fleste er langt fra lige så eftertænksomme eller underholdende som originalen. Bare tjek Roland Emmerichs forfærdelige amerikanske Godzilla-film fra 1998. I denne uge, altså 16 år senere, er der så biografpremiere på Hollywoods andet forsøg på at køre det asiatiske kulturikon gennem det amerikanske filmmaskineri. Og resultatet er en stemningsfuld, underholdende og velspillet monsterfilm med effekter i særklasse. Den nye Godzilla-film er instrueret af engelske Gareth Edwards, som vi tidligere har interviewet helt tilbage i 2011, da han var aktuel med sin debutfilm, den prisbelønnede Monsters, en anden stemningsmættet monsterfilm, som Edwards selv filmede, skrev og instruerede med blot få tusind pund til rådighed, før han til slut lavede alle filmens imponerende special effects på sin egen hjemmecomputer. Be quiet. Edwards er altså noget af et naturtalent, og på papiret ligner han også den helt rette mand til at lave et amerikansk Godzilla-reboot, der måske endda kan afføde en amerikansk Godzilla-franchise. Vi mødte forleden Edwards i London, hvor vi også talte med filmens hovedrollenhaver, Aaron Taylor Johnson, som nok er bedst kendt for sin rolle som Kick-Ass, og amerikanske Elizabeth Olsen, som bevæger sig længere og længere op i Hollywoods hierarki, oven på gennembruddet i indie-hittet Marcy May Marlene. Men allerførst måtte vi lige spørge Gareth Edwards, hvordan han egentlig har det med, at Aaron Taylor Johnson iførte sig en noget alternativ t-shirt i Kick-Ass 2.
First of all, I need to ask, have you had a serious conversation with Aaron about the fact that he was wearing this I Hate Reboots t-shirt in Kick-Ass 2? His own idea?
Did he now?
Yeah, did you spot that?
No.
No.
Actually, funny enough, I already started on this and then went back to do reshoots, and that was actually a reshoot, and we decided on this t-shirt for that character. But I kind of find that quite, like, I find the humor in that obviously I was already a part of something that was it was just a kind of taking the mickey out of myself, you know, as an actor, but it's just kind of fun that I could portray it on a character, you know. I actually wanted the t-shirt to say I am not a reboot, rather like as in like I'm not a robot but with two O's, so I'm not a reboot. But they said, I hate reboots, and it was like on the day they just made the t-shirt, and I was like, oh, I'll go with that one. But it was kind of funny, but I was like, yeah, I wanted, because it had some humor to the sequel and whatnot. Anyway.
So you already have a lot of great t-shirt ideas for Kick-Ass 3 and Godzilla 2.
Yeah, that's all I think of. I just think, how can I label these things? Let me do some t-shirts.
For like 8 years.
Yeah, I need a franchise in t-shirts, merchandise, that's what I need, yeah.
I was very proud of the fact that in our film, though, he wears a t-shirt. His name's Ford, and he's wearing a Stanford, and in all the shots it's cut off, so it just says Ford. And every time I see that, I go, "That's clever,
Cool.
That's clever." But it was complete fluke. No, it's not really a reboot. It's kind of I think we call it a rebirth. It's not retelling the story of any of the other Godzilla movies. That's one of the great things I think about Godzilla. Is that you have this infinite canvas. You can kind of tell any story you want, any characters you want. I think that's why it stood the test of time, because it's so ripe for retelling. I mean, and we definitely wanted to make a movie that I felt I hadn't seen amongst, you know, all the Japanese films, is like a serious, like realistic, adult, you know, take on Godzilla.
Yeah. Like you mentioned, there are, of course, lots of previous Godzilla movies. Did you look at those, and were there certain elements you really wanted to recapture from those, and certain trappings that you wanted to avoid?
Yeah, I mean, you sit and watch them all, you know, at one point, and the very first one is actually a very serious movie and very, you know, one big metaphor for Hiroshima, really. And then after that, it gradually became more for kids, and a lot of the Godzillas that we all remember or we've glimpsed are those child-friendly, fun, guy in a suit, you know, more, you know, wrestling, you know, monster stomping kind of movies. And for this, we were definitely trying to go back to the roots, like, you know, take the subject seriously again, and especially for the modern audience, you know, try and find that meaning that it always, you know, it was born out of, which was, you know, that really Godzilla represents man's abuse of nature, and the fact that, you know, in the atomic age we always try and control or think we're in control of nature, and really it's nature that controls us, and trying to find that. I like a bit of meat on my bone, especially in science fiction and fantasy. I mean, you have all the spectacle and the fantasy, but really the best science fiction is really about something else, like it has a more deeper meaning, and so it took us a while, but we were trying to find that so that the film had more weight.
Yeah, like you say, you wanted to make a more serious film, and I felt it really worked. I was really impressed that I really enjoyed the movie, and also.
Oh, thank you.
But was it a difficult balancing act, tonal-wise, to make sure that it seems grounded and steeped in reality when you're dealing with a movie with giant monsters battling each other, but, you know, without overstepping it so it becomes pretentious or too serious?
Yeah, I mean, it is insane. Like, this is never gonna happen. Like, there's never really, I mean, who knows, but there's never really gonna be a giant monster attacking a city. But I think with all these things, you're trying to find the inner truth. Like, all drama is made up. Like, even a normal drama, like, they're making that story up. And I think if you're making things up, like, you should go you should go the whole way, and that's why I think science fiction is so strong when it's done well, is because it's sort of symbolic, it's sort of metaphors, and although, like, it literally, this is crazy, the inner truth of it, you know, you're trying to find something that feels that it's saying something about the world, and I believe, like, you know, the reason this works is because, like, for millions of years we've evolved as part of nature, and there was every day there's the threat that an animal was going to attack us and kill our family or something, and it's only in the modern world that we've pushed nature out, and but I think deep in our DNA we still have that fear that the animal's going to come and destroy what we've built, and just as our caves now are 300 feet high in skyscrapers, I think our fear becomes 300 feet high, and so as crazy as this is, it shouldn't work. It shouldn't affect you, a movie like this, but it does. It captivates everybody, and I think it's because it's in our DNA to expect this. Like, this is long overdue. Like, at some point the animal, like, nature is going to come, and it is going to put us in our place.
Og netop frygt var også det første emne på dagsordenen, da vi talte med skuespillerne. For hvor svært er det mon at fremmane frygt under optagelserne, når man normalt enten stiger på ingenting, eller på effektfolk, der dirigerer ens blikretning med tennisbolde på metalstænger?
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, they didn't fling tennis balls at us, but I mean, you know, we shot a lot of stuff. You'd expect a lot more green screen in a film like this, but I was pretty impressed that, you know, I guess when you have the sort of budget and the facilities that they do, I mean, it meant that we could film on real locations and, you know, throw cars upside down and blow up things and have rubble across it there and big crowds, you know, screaming people. You felt really immersed in something that felt scary and chaotic, and it didn't leave much to the imagination. So, you know, if it was a quick look over your shoulder, you knew that you know what I mean, you could kind of embed that sort of image of being petrified, you know, at times.
And also tonal-wise, it's amazing to me that the movie feels so real. It's so grounded in reality compared to so many other monster movies. Is that also difficult as an actor to, in a movie like this, which is basically about giant monsters fighting each other in big cities, to cut through all that, to find something very human and keep the characters grounded?
I think that was always the goal that Gareth had, and it was never about like human story versus monster story. So it just, I mean, we just kind of felt like we were making a whole separate film in a way, knowing that there was this monster in Godzilla, but it almost just felt more like natural disasters as opposed to like a big dinosaur, you know, stomping through the city. So yeah, I don't know. It wasn't like a difficult thing. It was more like how you would film a drama, I guess.
It felt like we were working on an intimate kind of independent movie, you know, in fact, especially when it's so character driven and there's a lot of, you know, work between the director and the actors involved. It felt like we were really we had a lot of time to just kind of waste and find and explore with character work that you think that they would just sort of move on real quick and just in order to kind of just get the big monster movie sort of thing going on. But they gave time for the actors and that's what you kind of, you know, to have that is very special, you know.
Husk, at du kan finde alle vores tidligere Filmz TV-udsendelser på Filmz under Filmz TV-fanebladet, og også på videovideo.dk, i iTunes og via vores gratis video-app.
I remember during one of the first interviews I ever did actually was with you, a phone interview 4 years ago about monsters. So it's a big pleasure for me to finally meet you face to face.
I keep meeting people like from 4 years ago.
Really?
Yeah. It was. I think I did a lot of publicity on that film. I think it was like 9 months of it.
Really?
Yeah, it was crazy.
So it's like a big reunion today. Actually.
It is. Yeah, and I have to pretend I remember everyone. Like, oh yeah, I remember that phone call.
That was the best interview I ever did.
Exactly. Yeah. You never called back. You never called me anymore.
Sorry, I lost your number. Yeah, I've been crying about it ever since. So I'm glad to finally meet you again.